Here we are
Hello,
to celebrate
everyone.
Yay!
It's our birthday. 10 years.
10 years. And Shelly is with us from Florida. Carol is coming to us from Texas. And I am at the bookstore in Enumclaw. So here we are. And we have all sorts of fun stuff to do to celebrate today. But I want to start before I take you on a journey of the timeline of Redemption Press in the last 10 years. I want you all to meet some amazing people. I have our first two authors that came on with Redemption Press that are here live today. So I want to introduce each one of them to you separately. So let's see. Let's first have Anne. Yes.
Actually, Athena, can we talk a little bit though about the prizes and giveaways so that they know what to do? Because we want them to be able to at the end. So here is how it works. We're going to be giving away a lot of prizes. Lots of books, but we have a prize valued at $29.97 and not $29.97, but $2,997.
That's almost $3,000. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And so we're going to be giving that away at the end. So make sure that you comment along the way. And as you comment, we're going to be writing your name down so we can do drawings. And Shelly, we pulling up your hellos. And
yes, thank you for reminding me.
So back to Athena. She's going to talk about the amazing journey that she has been on at Redemption.
It has been amazing. So let me just say that I flew in from San Antonio, Texas, 10 years ago yesterday. And this was like the beginning of a whole new life for me all over again. Those of you who know my story know that I went through quite a wilderness after losing everything 2 years earlier. And so as we began and had the opportunity to start, I had the opportunity to start over again in publishing and start something new with Redemption Press. A number of the authors that were now orphaned because Wine Press shut their doors, which I was not a part of for 2 years before they ended. But we had the opportunity to have all the files, all the names, all the email lists of all the authors, and we had all their files. So the beginning of Redemption Press was basically to go in and redeem all these authors who had lost everything. They'd lost their files, they'd lost everything. And so that was the first thing that we started doing as a company, was reaching out to all the Wine Press authors and saying, we have your files. Would you like us to send them to you? And some of them said, well, no, I'd rather you just put it back into print. So that was how Redemption Press started. And so in that piece of the story enters Anne Griffith, and her ministry partner at the time was Donna Inglis, who is now in a better place than we are with the Lord. But she and Anne drove down from Canada to help us start this process. And Anne, it is such a delight to have you here today.
Oh, thanks, Athena. It's just such fun to be able to be here and be part of the celebration. Thank you.
And I look back at the pictures, which I'm going to share after we get through with these interviews. I'm going to share some of the pictures of when Anne and Donna showed up and went to work, calling and emailing and just being a servant to help us get the word out to all these authors who didn't know what just happened and were they were shell shocked. They were traumatized. So Anne, what are your memories of those days when you just jumped right in?
Well, my second book had just come out with Wine Press, and the challenge was a lot of stuff was going online about what was going on, and a lot of people were not understanding what was going on, including us. We were trying to figure it all out, and we were hearing things from different sources, and we believed so much in you, Athena, but at the same time, we were hearing all this, being bombarded by all this other junk. And so Donna and I remember us sitting in her living room and saying, okay, what are we going to do about this? And we decided, prayed about it and talked a lot, and finally just said, okay, we have to make a decision. Are we going to believe all this stuff over here, or are we going to go with Athena and what she's trying to do now that you had all this list? And so we made the decision we were going to stay, obviously, with you, and then said, well, we might as well put our not money where our mouth is, but put feet to it. So that's when we made the decision to drive down and just say, hey, what do you need? What can we do? And that's when you set us up in rooms, and we just made phone calls one after another to authors to try and help them to understand what was going on, and just to help them figure out, okay, where do we go from here? And I remember us sitting around strategizing, and that's the first time we met Ross. I think you were just dating then. And you brought him over after a dinner date you had, brought him over, and we met him and sat around talking. It was great. It was so much fun. And we just loved being there and helping out.
And you did. You really just, and that's what we needed. Emails are so impersonal. We wanted to be able to communicate to everyone, and it was hard. I mean, there was just trauma.
Yes.
And when you don't know, and you see, and like you said, see all the things and don't know who to believe, and it was a blessing for you both to know that we were trying to do the right thing and wanting to be a part of that. And so since then, now you started with 2 books, you now are working on number 4, and we're going to actually give some of those away later on today.
Good. But we are so glad we made that decision. It was one of the best decisions we made in our ministry, Donna and I together. And it's just been a wonderful friendship that's grown over the years too, with you, Athena, and now with Carol and Shelley and others. And it's just a thrill. But just to be able to be on those calls with some of those authors who were, you used the right word, trauma. Like they had just lost, they didn't know where their files were. They'd just put all this work in and didn't know what to do. And now here they were having to face, okay, what do we do? And the good thing was that you were stepping up and saying, okay, here's the plan. You didn't even know the whole plan. While you were on the phone negotiating with printers and stuff like that, and suppliers, we were on the phone calling authors to try and let them know what was going on. So, and
good. I just can't tell you how much I still think back on those days with just such fond memories, and so grateful that you jumped in and helped, because it was like a tidal wave. We needed help. And God has just been so gracious to just continue to sharpen us and enable us to serve well. And it's just been a delight to have you be part of that. And then for your daughter, Sarah, she's working on her book. So it's turned into a real family thing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So thank you, Athena. Thank you for stepping out and stepping up when a lot of people needed to know what to do and where to go. You helped to show the way. So thank you.
You are so welcome. So, okay, now we're going to bring Dean Davis up, who, there he is, from you're still in California, right?
I'm still in California.
All right. And Dean came to us with, I believe you had 2 books in print with Wine Press that you brought over, or was it 3?
I believe it was 3. I had
Okay.
the first book I wrote, which probably took about 3 or 4 years, was called The Test. It's about the biblical worldview and about apologetics. Then I wrote a book on creationism. I'm quite a fervent advocate. That was called In Search of the Beginning. And then I wrote what is the biggest and longest of my books, and it might have taken 5 to 6 years to write it, called The High King of Heaven. And as you ladies have talked, I am remembering the true trauma of seeing those fall over the edge of the universe. I was not a happy camper. I couldn't get in touch with anybody in authority. And eventually, if my memory serves me, it was you, Athena, that reached out to me and said, "Hey, now try not to panic, calm down. I have a plan." So yes, 3 books.
And if I remember right, and I don't remember which year, but High King of Heaven was on Christianity Today's top 50 books. Was that 2020 or?
I think it was 2014. Actually, that's kind of news to me. I don't read Christianity Today much, but I'm tickled to hear that that was the case. That particular book, being as long as it is and as scholarly as it is, has a very small niche. But people who study eschatology talk about it a lot. And I feel that by God's grace, it's had quite a positive impact in the global church. As you probably know, well, I know you know, because we've been talking about this. There's a Korean publisher who showed interest in that. So all that to say that, I mean, my writing has really been the main contribution of my life to this world and to the Lord's work. I couldn't have done it without you. It's just tremendous, the help you've given.
Well, and we have 6 of your books in print, if I remember correctly.
Maybe 5, or it could be 6. I think it's 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't keep track of you.
And the secret that you're not supposed to know is that I'm working on another one, but I won't tell you now. So.
Okay. Well, do you have any memories from those early days when we jumped in and helped you that come to mind that you want to share? Or
well, the one that came to mind as you were talking with Anne is when there was such turbulence with Wine Press and formerly Pleasant Hill, and then a great deal of spiritual flack going on the Facebook pages and so forth. It was difficult to know, should I trust Athena? I mean, and so one memory that was important to me is I called my good friend Nick Harrison, who you know well, and I said, "Nick, Athena has approached me. Can I trust her?" He said implicitly, "You go for it." And I did, and I never looked back, and I never regretted it. So it was a wonderful opportunity to get better acquainted with you. I've come to feel that Redemption Press is on a really solid foundation, and I'm just thrilled to see your new partners and to hear about your excitement for the future. And that means a lot to me because at 76, I'm not in the mood to shop for other publishers. I can tell you.
Absolutely. And that was my heart, is I want to make sure Redemption Press carries on for many, many years in the future. And so I'm a few years behind you, but I'm getting to the age where I want to make sure that whatever happens to me, we carry on. So it's been delightful. It's just been a delightful partnership, and you're just part of the family, and it's been great to have you on board.
Well, I feel that I jotted down a little note to myself. If she asked me what I like, I put you'll know that I'm a preacher. I have 3 P's. I have people, product, and price. And all 3 are great. I won't take any more time to sing your praises, but they're real.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Dean. It's just always a delight to see your face and to hear your voice. And thank you so much for being part of our party today.
We will visit again soon.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I am going to start with, oh dear, I guess I need to do that. There we go. Okay, much better. So I'm going to just start through this timeline to just kind of share highlights from each year. And definitely that first few months was when Ann and Donna came down and helped us reach out to people, and just had some delightful memories of going out to dinner and kind of decompressing and, kind of talking through who we talked to that day and what challenges we needed to solve, because there were tons of things to solve. And it was just so good to have Donna and Ann, who had been through the process. They understood enough about the publishing process and all the things that it was a godsend to have them come down and help me. And I'll never forget it. It was awesome. So, and these are current pictures of Ann at the Christian Product Expo and her daughter, Sarah, who were there last year in February when Ross and I were there signing our book, Together for a Purpose, which is in the background of that one picture. And so it was just delightful to have them with us at Christian Product Expo. And then here's some other pictures of us after a dinner on site. And then Ann and her hubby came to visit us in Enumclaw and stayed locally. And we went to our favorite restaurant and had a great time. So that was Ann. And then Dean, I wanted to show his 4 books that are the main books that we have published. I do think there are a couple others. And also it has been fun just recently working with a foreign rights agent representing a large publisher in Korea, Christian publisher, and they want to buy the foreign rights, the Korean rights, for both the Great End Time Debate and The Test. So that is just so much fun to be able to negotiate that for Dean so that the book can be translated and promoted and sold all through, I'm sure it'll be South Korea, but it's exciting for us to be able to help him continue to grow his reach. So then in the middle of our first year, I got married. And that was, I mean, I don't even know how I did my job. I was, pitter pat. I was Twitter, and I was smitten, and all the good things, but I don't even know how I managed to do my job, but I did. And we got married in June, and that was a high point of the year. We also hired our first administrative person, who was Hannah, who went on to be a project manager. And we also hired Amber, who is with the Lord now. She's a double lung transplant, and she came on as a project manager. And I believe she was with us for at least 3 years or so. But then 2015 comes along, and Cross Books, which was Lifeway's self-publishing arm, who I actually had criticized in a number of blog posts because they outsourced to Author Solutions, which is who Westbow Press outsources to. And Author Solutions is not only not a Christian company, but they have the worst reputation ever. And so basically Lifeway figured out they made a bad move. And so they closed down that imprint of Cross Books, which sent about 50 authors all at one time running to get some help to get their books back into print. So 2016 was a year of kind of full circles because the people involved who kind of took over WinePress Publishing and kind of shoved me out had also taken over Northwest Christian Writers as an organization trying to control them as well. And NCWA did get free of that. But in 2016, we created a strategic partnership. They asked me to be president that year. And it was just a sweet full circle for us. Then in 2017, Tate Publishing basically went out of business. And along with that, there were a ton of authors who were traumatized. Again, so it was like, here we go. I mean, we're getting used to, first it was WinePress, then it was Cross, then it was Tate, and just having to try and meet the need and help get these books back into print. So I just realized that I had some books here that I wanted to mention from each year that were kind of books that made a difference, that really made an impact. So first, let me start with Anne's two books, A Mentor's Fingerprints, which was Anne and Donna, and then Anne did A Grandma's Fingerprint. So we're going to give some of these away later on. But, and then this is Anne's newest book, Reignite Your Leadership Heart. We're going to give away one of those. And two of Dean's books that we actually had in stock, The Great End Times Debate and In Search of the Golden Strand. So my 2017 book that I just wanted to mention, which is one of our best-selling books, continues to be a best-selling book, is Grandparenting with a Purpose. Effective Ways to Pray for Your Grandchildren by Lillian Penner. If I remember correctly, she came from Cross Books. And her book just continues. This is a revised edition that continues to sell. And 2016 was A Guide Dog Named Arby, which was our first book for Carrie Roberts, who, there she is. Perfect. So Carrie is married to a guy who is, there's a politically correct way to say it, sight impaired, I think. Is that how you say it, Carrie? But so this was our first book about service dogs and those who, it's about service dogs and how the protocol is and how to work with a service dog. But Carrie is the blonde leading the blind. So I just love her. Okay, so we're back to 2017. So Tate Publishing was, I'd been warning people for years that that was a scam, and turned out to be right. But also the other thing that happened in 2017 was I met Carol Kent at Right to Publish. We were on faculty together, and they had a last minute cancellation because their conference was the next month. It was like 3 weeks away. And she had a faculty member drop out and asked me if I would like to speak on being a radio show host at Speak Up. So that was the beginning of our strategic partnership with Carol Kent and Speak Up, which was super fun. And the books I want to highlight from 2017 are by Judy Lafler. These are more recent books. She brought 4 books over from Tate and then has done 4 more since then, has 8 titles with us. The Flower Girls is her most recent. Love, What's God Got to Do with It? And Finding Joy. We're going to give copies of those away later on. But she has gone on to just continually cranking out stories that glorify the Lord. So we love having her on our team. All right, so 2018 was our strategic partnership with the Women of Joy. We took a number of authors with us on that tour. It was an 8-event tour throughout the year. And what was interesting with that is we did a magazine that was part of that we gave away at all of those events. And before we ever signed the contract with the Waldrops, they wanted to see who was going to be in that magazine. And they wanted to go look up every single website and make sure that they had vetted every single person in that magazine, because if it was being given away at their event, it was an implied endorsement. And I was like, wow, that, I mean, we had just come through, 3 different groups of authors that we were just putting back into print. Nobody had time to actually vet anything or anyone or read through. We just put a new logo on there and put them back in print. And so that was a very kind of a life-changing moment, I think, for the company, because we realized that there were a lot of these companies that we were picking books up from and authors who hadn't gotten the editing that they really needed. And so that was not what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure we were putting out quality product. So that was the year that we kind of shifted, having a managing editor and having more requirements when it comes to editing and doctrine and theology. So even though the Women of Joy tour was kind of hard for us, that was a hard year because there was just a lot of turmoil going on while I was out on the road almost all year. But I wouldn't trade it, because that was something that really was a game changer for us as a company to say, wait a minute, if we publish something, that's an implied endorsement. That's more than an implied endorsement. That is an endorsement. And so we have to make sure that we can stand behind every single book that we publish. So in 2018, that year, we had a couple of key connections. One was with Gail Porter, who you're going to hear from a little bit later, and this isn't even her first book, but her most recent book is Living on the Path of Freedom, Leaving Fear of Rejection Behind. And she has done now 3 or 4 books with us. I think 4, because one of the books that she did with us was curriculum for a retreat And then there was a leader's guide for that. So that was 2. And then her first book with us, Will the Real Person Please Stand Up? Learning how to, the fear of rejection. I'm forgetting what word was used in the subtitle. So, okay, my bad. Anyway, so Gail Porter now has 3 books with us, 3 legit books. One's a leader's guide. So that's 4, 3.5. And also that year, we published a book called Faint Whispers, Learning to Discern His Still Small Voice. And this is Tammy Wilkinson, who, when I first went to speak up, I saw her across the room and said, "Oh, it's the banana lady." And for those of you who might remember, it was a viral video on Facebook. I think it went viral on Facebook after she had seen a homeless guy outside the grocery store and went in the grocery store to get him some hot chicken because she was just sure that he needed something, some protein, and he needed something hot. And she had an ongoing little conversation with God in the grocery store saying, "I want to get him chicken." And God kept telling her to get him bananas. And she's like, finally, she gave in, bought him the bananas, went outside, said, "Hey, this is your day. I've got some bananas for you." And he said, "How did you know that's my favorite? I'm craving a banana." But not only that, right after that, a lady walks out behind her and said, "Woo, it's your lucky day. Here's some fried chicken." So she's like, in fact, we're going to put a link to that video in the feed so you can watch it later, but it'll blow your mind. So we got to do her book that tells that story and how she learned to listen to God's voice after she fought with him the whole time in that grocery store. So that was super fun to be able to be part of getting that book out there. All right. So then we got 2019, where some key things that happened. We partnered with the Unplanned movie to publish their devotional journal called Planned from the Start. That was huge for us. We also, at the end of the Northwest Christian Writers renewal, and I was driving back from the Bellevue area back to Enumclaw, and God just dropped the idea in me to start something called She Writes for Him and create a compilation where there would be 5 well-known writers, speakers, with about 25 new authors. And each one would have a chapter, and we would deal with things that a lot of books weren't really dealing with, hard things that sometimes people in the church just say, "Oh, well, just pray more and you'll be fine." And so we decided to just really deal with difficult things, depression, abuse, all sorts of things that would be a resource that someone could actually give as a gift, beautiful gift book. So that was an idea that was birthed right around May of that year. And then at the end of the year in 2019, we moved into a new location. So finally, we were out of the location that was Wine Press's offices for years. That was where we moved back into right at the very beginning. And so we finally had an opportunity to get our own place and even put in a small bookstore, which was right before the pandemic hit. So much for that. Didn't really produce a whole lot, but it was a great space for us to start doing virtual conferences from. But 2019, planned from the start, and Unmothered. Let's see. It's a little hard to see. By Phyllis Mantelli, Life with a Mom Who Couldn't Love Me. This thing continues to just jump off the shelf at women who didn't have a great relationship with their mom and need some healing. So those were two pivotal books for 2019. Then also we created a strategic partnership with the Christian communicators, Tammy Whitehurst and Lori Boroff. So that was the very beginning of our great relationship with them. We just are their biggest cheerleaders and they are ours. And it has just been a wonderful experience for us. So 2019, oh, okay. Sorry, I'm a little out of order here. There's the She Writes for Him book, and there's our little bookstore that turned into a studio. Okay, so then 2020 is where we pivoted to virtual conferences, boot camps, a virtual community, She Writes for Him, Tribe. We had Carol Kent and Liz Curtis Higgs and Mary DeMuth and Sandra Dalton Smith as our keynoters at that very first conference, which was, you know, all the conferences canceled. And so all the places I was supposed to go, I couldn't go. So it was like, well, I've been doing this 30 some years. I know a lot of authors and a lot of speakers. So let's just take this party online. And that was the beginning of our shift to really a very productive opportunity to train even people that will never publish with us, but just to offer the wealth of knowledge that we have so that others can get their story out there. So this is 2020 is the year where Shelley, actually, she and I were connected through Donna Fagerstrom. Donna said to me, you know, you need to reach out to Shelley. She could really be an asset to you guys. And I did, and the rest is history. She came on and just has brought so much to this team. It has been amazing. Oh, okay. So, can I go backwards? Well, I don't think I can unless let's see. Oh, wait a second. No. Oh, yeah, I think I can. There we go. Ooh. All right. Carol, when you edit this, you can edit that out. All right. So 2020 also included some pretty amazing books. And I want to go through two of them that are dear to my heart just because they are issues that I have dealt with in my life. And they were just like, oh, thank you, Lord, that I get to be part of dealing with these topics. The first was Healing Through Service, the Warrior's Guidebook to Overcoming Trauma. So Sergeant Q, he lives right over in the next town in Auburn. And so it was just a delight to be able to get something out that was kind of full circle from the very first book I was involved with in 1987 for Vietnam veterans and their family members. So we were able to work with him on that book, which needed a whole lot of work to the manuscript. And he was just a delight to work with. But then here's the other book that was a game changer in 2020. Overcoming the Narcissist, Sociopath, Psychopath, and Other Domestic Abusers. I was married to one of those, and I had a pastor that was one of these. Well, sorry, I shouldn't even call him that. A false shepherd. But anyway, what I have to show y'all on this is this amazing resource for women who are in the home with someone who is abusive. So they couldn't really take a book like this, where it says it right there on the cover. They couldn't really take a book like that into their home and be safe. So the author, when she first told me about her idea for a decoy cover, I'm like, we have to find a way to do this. And we did. So the actual cover, the dust jacket, is beautiful. But then when the woman takes it to her home, she turns it over and puts that on the outside. So it just looks like a harmless women's devotional. But what's underneath that dust jacket is going to set her free and help her navigate what it's going to look like. So that was just such an amazing experience for us to get to do, and to even find a printer that would do that. That is like unheard of. No printer that I talked to had ever done anything like that before. So that was huge. Okay. 2021, enter Carol Tetzlaff, who was in the middle of publishing her Bible study. And we had a need, and we just started chatting, and it was like all the training that she had in curriculum and women's events, all the things and the gifts that she had. I'm like, this is God. One more time. He's doing it again. He's orchestrating the people that he wants here at Redemption Press. And so we put her in charge of the She Writes for Him conference right away, and the boot camp and all the things. And by the way, today is her anniversary. She and Kelly have been married 18 years today. So we are celebrating 10 years with Redemption Press and 18 years of Carol and Kelly. And this also, 2021, was our first year where we actually qualified as a Best Christian Workplace. And that was a big deal for us. Debbie Alsdorf stepped in as the tribe manager, and we actually had our first She Writes for Him retreat, which I think we have some pictures of. So in fact, there's Carrie Roberts talking about the blonde leading the blind. That's her book, all sticky noted out and storyboarded. And there's Janet McHenry, who is now our She Writes for Him tribe community manager. And she does our retreats and takes each person at the retreat through storyboarding their story. And there is Cheryl Lutz on the right, and just a team of women who went through their stories and really fleshing it out during that time at the retreat. So that was huge for us to do that first retreat. And our 2021 books were the She Writes for Him Black Voices of Wisdom, which came as a result of a boot camp where we had one Black sister, and it was right after the George Floyd incident. And just one question with her: how are you doing? Opened up a whole conversation where we realized, you know what? We need to get some conversation started here with our Black sisters who have really gone through some hard things that I never realized. But having that conversation just opened up a floodgate of just indignation on my part. And so we decided to give 21 Black sisters a platform through this book to share what they've been through just because of the color of their skin. And just the conversation starter that it has been within the church has been amazing. So this was a huge thing for us for 2021. And also 2 other things. We published our first ever book by a deaf author. Peter Quint wrote a book called Resilient Silence, a deaf experience suspense novel. And this guy is out there doing book signings all over the place. It's amazing. And in 2021, we had our own BJ Garrett, who we met at the Christian Communicators Conference. Her book won Memoir of the Year, Unwanted No More, From Exploited to Embraced by God. And that was a SELA Memoir of the Year. That was a big deal for her to win that. All right, so 2022. Oh, wait, before we go to 2022, we've got to show you some pictures of the retreat. So there's Sandy Banks and Teresa Moyer and a bunch of different people. Sandy Banks, Teresa, Natasha's there, Carrie. So we all had dinner at our favorite restaurant and went to the bookstore and just had lots of fun. There's Natasha. So that just gives you a taste of what the retreat is like. It was amazing. Okay. So now 2022 was our first national in-person conference called Proclaim. And that conference and just everything that came from it was kind of the beginning of some real major shifts that began to happen on the team that led us to where we are today. And we not only announced a partnership with Logos, which was a strategic partnership for us because too many people, including authors, get their theology from Facebook and Google, and it's usually out of context. So we really wanted to help our authors take advantage of this great software of Logos and use it to really help them be solid in the way that they use scripture in their books. So let's see, there was that. There was a new level of strategic partnership with Carol Kent and the Speak Up Conference, because Carol in 2022 began leading their virtual, so it's a hybrid conference, it's in person and virtual. And she started doing that, which has just been huge for us as a publisher, but also just a great opportunity for us to partner with Carol and all that they do to equip speakers and writers to get their message out. So we began rebuilding the Redemption Press team, including hiring an actual in-house bookkeeper instead of outsourcing it. Oh my goodness, game changer. It has been so good. We also made it to let's see, do we have it here? No. We did Best Christian Workplace again, so we qualified 2 years in a row here. We also moved into a new bookstore, which is in the best, this is where we're at right now, best location in town, ever, best. And we also, oh, there we go. We qualified as Best Christian Workplace. We put our scripture, Romans 8:28, that all things work together for good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. that's on the windows right here on the best corner in town. And not only that, Carol and Shelley created the most amazing Amazon bestseller book launch campaign as a proprietary service that we do for our authors. And it's just been a game changer for us. But also, I guess I got ahead of myself. Let's see. Can I go back? Okay. Sorry. Okay. So the book of the year for 2022 was Carol's Bible study, Ezra, Unleashing the Power of Praise, won a CELA Award for Best Bible Study of the Year. And that was her second Best Bible Study of the Year that she won, by the way. And we had a number of other winners that year, not first place, but a bunch of authors of ours finaled and won second and third place. So that was a great year. And then here we go. 2023 is when Shelley and Carol and Kelly and Shelley came on the leadership team, which just has been a desire of my heart to make sure that this thing would carry on without me. Whenever that happens, that it wouldn't just die with me, that it would go and carry on. And that is what is happening. And the creative element that has come in with just the three of us working together, and then Kelly bringing in his expertise on finances and all the things. And then my husband coming in more actively on doing working with some of our older authors that need a little more TLC and work with their computers and their manuscripts and rewriting and all the things. So it has just been so good to have that happen. And again, we qualified for the third year in a row. Even after a very difficult year, we qualified again for the Certified Best Christian Workplace. We also, as a result of Carol and Shelley and the Amazon bestseller campaign, came up with special ways to relaunch a book that maybe came out during the pandemic and just flopped, or maybe for whatever reason, it needs a new boost. So relaunching a book, but also utilizing companion products to point to a book that's in print. So that has been a great thing for us to have. We have Carol's genius behind other compilation products that she has had the idea for: the Path to Epiphany, the Path to Easter, and the Trusting God that came out of our 3-day challenge for devotional writers. So that has just been super fun. And we just say that one of the things that Carol created when she first came to Redemption Press was a more than just a word guide to help people figure out what their word of the year is. And this was the very first one that came out. But this is the new version, the new and improved version, which is actually another compilation book because there's 12 other authors that are included in this new Word of the Year book. More than just a word. All right. So let's see. Where am I? Okay. Here we go. Another thing from 2023 is our strategic partnership with Right to Publish. Steve Lobby and Dan Balo are amazing. Steve and I go back 30 years. I mean, I have known that guy forever. He was a bookseller, had owned a bookstore, went on to be an editor at Bethany House, then became an agent. We've just been friends forever. And he took over the Right to Publish conference last year, and Dan Balo was the conference director. And it was just the highlight of our year was being part of Right to Publish. So we have a great relationship with them and just work together to really serve those that come and want to learn and want to get published and don't have a hope of, getting an agent, or because they don't have a big enough following. So then again, 2023 is when we won for the third year in a row, and I'm not sure. I'm hoping that I can make this work. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's not going to work because there's no sound. So sorry about that. That was just a Best Christian Workplace reel that they made for us with a couple of our employees talking about what it means for them to work here. So we will post that as well. But this year has been, okay, wait a minute. Did I forget? I did. I forgot 2023, our People of the Plateau, which was another one of Carol's brainchildren, who basically my husband took all the people that were nominated in our town to be highlighted in this book, and he interviewed them and edited their stories. And we published this book, People of the Plateau, Stories That Make Up the Tapestry of Our Town. So it was a way for us to serve our community. And the other thing that we did in 2023 was 2 years in a row. So Ezra won Bible Study of the Year Selah Award in 2022. And in 2023, Nanette Larson won Bible Study of the Year From Shattered to Restored. So we are now on a roll with Bible studies winning Bible Study of the Year at the Selah Awards. So super, super exciting. And let me also say that in 2023, in the memoir category, of the 5 finalists, 4 were Redemption Press books and Redemption Press authors. Tracy Mashad, Broken and Blessed. Eleanor Young, Running on Broken Legs. Karen Black Mercer, Only If God Says So. She was the one that started the sidewalk counseling ministry outside abortion centers. And that's her story. Woo! Something else. And You Don't Know Just How I Feel. Hope for the Grieving Heart by Gwen Burton. So all 4 of those finaled in Memoir of the Year. 2 of them placed. Let's see. Second place was Only If God Says So. And third place was You Don't Know Just How I Feel. But that was exciting for 4 of the 5 authors in the memoir category to be Redemption Press authors. So fun. Okay. So 2024, we really began in earnest. We kind of did a little beta start in November. But really, the launch of Redemption Press University started this year. And that's not only just to support our authors all the way through the process and beyond. Not doing what other companies do. You get your book, see ya, have fun now. We want to train our authors to be able to make the most of this opportunity with their book in print. So we also created this author care program because Amazon did a warehouse shedding in 2023 that about knocked me out. It was just about 3 months of trauma with a whole bunch of returned books that we didn't really know how to handle. And so that whole situation that devastated the publishing industry. I mean, we were only a very little part of the devastation, but that whole thing created us coming to the conclusion that we had to do better at offering our authors whatever is going to be best for them when it comes to distribution and sales of their books and royalties and returns and all those things. So that created a full-on author care program where we have 2 different author managed distribution options and 3 different Redemption Press managed distribution options. And it has just been wonderful. I mean, it's a huge task for us to go back to all 1,000 authors and help them figure out what's going to be best for them. But we are committed to it. And it has been, so far, it has been really good to just let our authors know that we're not just going to not care what happens to them. We want to help protect them from more Amazon abuse, which is what it is. I mean, it's Amazon trying to force people to be exclusive with Amazon. And that doesn't go over well with me. But, okay. So, let's see. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay. So because of that, we are actually launching what we're calling our We Care campaign, because the more I hear from authors about how once their book's in print, I mean, they won't even answer their calls, answer their emails. It's just like, go away. You know, we gave you your book. Go, bye. That's basically the sentiment. And I hear those stories and I go, man, we actually care about our authors. We want to help them, even if it costs us in man hours to make it happen for them, to help them solve whatever the issue is. We do it. And that is not normal in this industry. So all year long, you're going to hear different ways that we show how much we care. Like, just as an example, that dust jacket, that decoy dust jacket that we did for Charlene Quint. That was an almost impossible feat. And we made it happen because we care about her message and making sure that she's able to protect those women that she's trying to help. Okay, so here was an amazing full circle for me. And that is, I talked about, I don't know, a couple months ago, someone who mentored me. Probably I was maybe 2 years, maybe a year and a half into being a Christian. And he was teaching through Point Man Ministries, and taught me and taught all of us how to pray this one prayer, which went, okay, God, show me my heart as you see it. Not as I want to see it, because of course I want to see it. It's just so full of good intentions and honorable things and all the things. Well, that's not what scripture says about our heart, right? So Phil Israelson taught me in this training that we had for Point Man to say that prayer. That was a dangerous prayer for me, because that was the thing that got me to walk away from my work that was total idolatry. And I walked away from that and went full-time ministry. And so it was a game changer in my life personally. So like the day after New Year's, I get a phone call at the office, and it's Phil Israelson. I haven't talked to him in 25 years, at least. And turns out he had a book published by one of our competitors. And, you know, basically they just let him print 177,000 words and then wouldn't take his phone calls, wouldn't answer his questions, none of that. So we looked at it, and I mean, it is like my probably favorite topic. And the title is The Smallest Step of Obedience opens the biggest door. And that's the truth. So just last night, he called me and said, okay, I want you guys to help me make this into a book that can actually go somewhere and really help people, not just the people that know me. So talk about full circle again. So that's super exciting so far for 2024. Our first book that came out this year, too, has the words that I love to hear. Faithful before, faithful again. Finding God Faithful in an Anxious World by Lynn Nitcher. So that just came out. So I just love how God kind of, ties things up in a bow and reminds me that he doesn't miss a thing. So I'm going to try and do this without getting emotional. But last thing on our books for the year is our first offset, which is a large print run. We printed 3,000 of these. Our first offset print run of the year just launched on the 16th of January. Lessons from Lad. What My Dog Taught Me About Life, Love, Leadership, and Loss by Christine Ferris. And not only are she and her husband delightful, but this is the most amazing book and it's beautiful. So that, okay, I do have one more thing that I have to announce, and I don't think, nope, I'm done with the PowerPoint. Back by popular demand, because last year we did not have a retreat. We just had too much going on with the Amazon thing and having to try and figure out how to help our authors. So we just signed the paperwork last night for a November date, early in November, for our next She Writes for Him retreat with Janet McHenry at a different location, still very close by the bookstore. So we get to come to the bookstore and we get to go to Il Siciliano and do all the things and come to our house for dinner. But we are ready to start getting people signed up for that. First come, first serve. But She Writes for Him retreat.com will give you all, not all the information, but basically will allow you to put a deposit down so that you are on the list. And I am so excited that we are going to do another one because those are just such amazing memories. All right. So where's my girls? There they are. Let's get all of us up here.
We are. Yay.
Nice.
Well
So we actually asked some of our authors if they would share some memories, and we had a few turn some things in. So Athena Shelley's going to start, and she's going to talk about one of our authors.
Yeah. So our sweet friend, and I hope she's still here, and I've seen her commenting in the chat, Gail Porter. She sent in this just precious word for us. She said this. She said, Athena and I met at the 2018 Florida Christian Writers Conference. We both call it a divine appointment. After talking with several publishers, she said, I moved to Athena's table and presented my book idea. When Athena said, Gail, I would like to publish your book, we both knew it was God's plan. My book, Will the Real Person Please Stand Up? Rising Above the Fear of Rejection was published in 2018, and readers are learning how to let go of their fear so they can live a life of freedom. She says, I'll always be grateful that Athena invited me to become a Redemption Press author, because that has led to other publishing opportunities with Redemption Press, fabulous training, open doors for marketing, and forever friendships with other authors. Thank you, Athena.
We love Gail Porter. Athena, if you want to do a screen share where it's present, then I can show the pictures that you took out. That's why it wouldn't work. So we have to give instructions live. It's okay. It makes it real, right? Because that's what we're supposed to do. So Gail sent us some pictures, and so we will put that up, as well as I am going to talk a little bit about Teresa Moyer, who also sent in her memory. And she says, my favorite memory with Redemption Press was the first ever writers retreat in Enumclaw, Washington, at that fun, eclectic home. It was super fun, wasn't it, Teresa? That we stayed in. Meeting other writers in person was so much fun. Getting to meet Athena, Carol, and Janet in person as well. And Athena's husband, Ross, who she had been following for months on Facebook Live. Making new friends who understand you is priceless. The retreat had top-notch teaching by all three ladies. Athena had us join her for her Facebook Lives. Carol's daily devotional time was amazing. And Janet's teaching on storyboarding was eye-opening for everyone. And that's what we're going to do again this November. And so you'll want to be part of the retreat. It is just so much fun. So Athena, do you want me to do Debbie Ashley, or are you good?
I'm lots going on in the background, but I couldn't get this up. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
We
okay.
wanted to share pictures. If you could just go ahead and do those, that'd be great.
All right. So we have a memory from Debbie Ashley. She just signed for her second book. We're super excited to publish that. But Debbie says, my connection to Redemption Press began May of 2020. At that time in my life, I was seeking God's directions for my next step. One day, after praying about this, I saw an ad on Instagram for the first She Writes for Him online conference. I knew immediately that God was clearly directing me to attend this conference. Little did I know that this would lead me not only to a published book, but also to an amazing group of leaders, trainings, and authors who continue to guide and influence me on my writing journey. I am so thankful for this amazing team of people. And Debbie Ashley, we are so thankful for you and what you bring and the message that you have and your passion to see women just get into the word. So.
Yeah. And I think the last one here that we have is from our friend Cheryl Lutz, who attended the retreat, and she's attended quite a few of our events as well. She is the author of a pretty new release, just came out within the last few months. It's called Securely Held. Yes, and it just released this last fall. There it is. An amazing book, y'all. And oh my goodness. Run, don't walk to get that book. Same with Gail Porter's most recent book as well. Well, several of her books, but her most recent one is super good. She says, but Cheryl says, I love you guys, and I am so grateful for Redemption Press. And she sent a reel. She's stinking hilarious too, y'all. She makes me belly laugh. And she sent a reel, but we couldn't get it to play. So there you have it.
We'll post it.
Cheryl. What's that?
We will post it.
Oh, okay. We can post it. Cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So next, we are just really looking forward to what God has for us in the future. And I don't know, Athena, are you pretty busy there at the store? So, okay, that's all right. So we're going to do some drawings first, and then we're going to bring Ross and Kelly in, hopefully at the end, just to say goodbye and talk about all the things we're looking forward to. But we want to do some prizes. We're going to give away some books. So Athena, if you just want to, I guess, hold up the book and I can say the title. And then I have a whole basket filled with all of your names if you chatted at some point on this feed. So the first one is Anne Griffith, a mentor's fingerprint. And that is going to go to, let's see, Marissa Barbie.
Yay. Marissa wins a lot. She has a lot of our books.
Y'all want to be friends with Marissa.
I know.
Okay.
Yay, Marissa.
One is by Anne Griffith, Grandma's Fingerprints. And the winner is Stephanie Grams.
Yay, Stephanie.
Yay, yay. All right. Next is Reignite Your Leadership Heart by Anne Griffiths. And the winner is Sherry Hoppin. And Sherry's book is releasing this, I think, March, Sober Cycle. We're excited to re-release
Yay.
that for her. Okay, next is I can't see it. Faith Unhindered is Debbie Ashley's Bible study, and it is going to Patricia Doucette. So Patricia Doucette.
Yay,
So Athena Paul just commented, one of my best memories. Let's see this. One of my best memories is doing an interview on the radio with Athena at a writers conference about my young adult fiction book, Totally Unexpected.
Nice.
Nice. All right. I've never had Athena on mute before. This is like a totally new experience. All right. Next book is Securely Held by our dear friend Cheryl Lutz, and that is going to Lynn Severance.
Hey, Lynn.
Whoop, whoop. And Cheryl's not with us today because she is speaking at an event. So that's exciting. All right. Next one. This is Gail Porter's book, Living on the Path of Freedom. I got to help her with her cover on that. Yay, Gail. It was fun working with you on that. And the winner is the person who just shared a memory, Paul. So
all right.
I don't have your last name, Paul. So if you want to put your last name on there, that would be fantastic. Although I'm sure we know because you wrote the book Totally Unexpected. So we'll be able to find it. Okay. All right. Next book is a trilogy of all the She Writes for Him books. And that goes to, I really am just pulling these out of a basket. That goes to Teresa Moyer. Okay, Teresa, you probably have all of these books. So I'm going to let you run the next one, and I'm going to pull a new name out because Teresa has been around us a long time. So how about let's give that to Susan Perelka.
All right.
All right, Teresa, I'm going to put you on next. Don't feel bad, Athena. Carol puts me on hold or silent often. Oh,
that's your husband.
Eyes cracks. He's down in the green room, but he has to get some cracks. Okay, so what book is next? What? All right, Teresa Moyer, we're going to send Teresa a book. What book could Teresa have? There you go. People of the Plateau. You'll love that because you have so much connection up there with all the people and doing the Facebook Lives. So very fun. Okay. We have the grand prize, right? Are we going to do that now? Okay. The grand prize. Do you want me to announce it? Okay. The grand prize is, are you ready? 12 sessions of small group coaching with me. It is a $29.97 value. We will take you from either your idea and get your book outlined and all your content and ready to go, or if you're in the process of writing it already and you know where you're going, if you stick with it, you will have your book finished in 3 months. And our small group coaching is amazing. We have so much fun. So are you guys ready for our winner of small group coaching?
Here we go.
It's going to be fun. The winner is Carla Bird.
Carla.
Yay! Carla's coming out soon too. So this is super exciting. How fun. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait you have to have another book in you somewhere. And if for some reason your book's out and you're like, I'm not really going to write another book, we'll do marketing coaching. We'll do it all. We'll make it happen. So it'll be super fun. Yay, Carla. Everybody say shout out to Carla. All right. I'm going to bring Kelly up. Kelly, are you ready? I see that you're not. Okay, now you're ready. Okay, there we go. And then Ross is helping people in the store. So Kelly, tell us. Okay, so be careful. Tell us what.
Be on your best behavior.
We have been now co-owners at Redemption Press for a year, and my husband has really stepped in doing so much of the finances and really working with our bookkeeper. He has some new things that he's going to be launching as well as our business butler. So Kelly, tell us a little bit about your experience at Redemption Press and
Well, it's certainly never been boring being one of the DEI representatives in this vast field of estrogen fueled book writers. But it's been fun. Like she said, I've kind of taken over, Athena. I've kind of jumped in with both feet on the finance end, and some marketing and some selling and some whatever. I spend most of my time taking care of Carol as Mr. Yellow Girl and helping with all things Carol, which that's a full-time job all by itself, in a good way, because she's so flippin' talented. She makes me look stupid, but
Yes.
whatever. And so we have fun. It's like I said, never boring. My whole job, as you might have seen from the comments, is being a smart acre and making my wife go, oh, golly, really? So there you go. That's me.
And Kelly has a big role at Redemption Press University, where he really does help authors figure out all the business elements of your author, writing a book, and how you can, making sure the taxes are there, and your LLC and corporations, and how to work it all out so that you're doing everything legit, and just a great part. So we love doing this together. And Shelly, what's one of the things you're looking most forward to in 2024? Do you have something?
So
2024. What's that?
She's talking to me now. Shelly, not Kelly.
Oh, Shelly, not Kelly. Well, see, when you get old, like the previous guest, your book writer, I'm part deaf in spite of having the earpods in. So Uptown Shelly Brown, that's you.
It's my turn to take the stage for just a minute. So two things. The We Care campaign really excites me, because we are going to really be able to not just tout it, but really show you how we care. And we genuinely do. So I'm excited about that. And I'm really excited about Redemption Press University and where we're heading with that. Little spoiler alert, I have been spending countless hours researching and digging deep on how to help our authors, even more on how to sell your book and get your message out there. And so that's going to be a huge part of assisting our authors with marketing. God's entrusted y'all with a message, and you have to get the word out. And so I'm excited about being a part of helping to do that.
Nice. Me too. Both of those are going to be really exciting. And I'm really excited about the in-person events that I was in Texas this weekend at a writers conference and got to speak there. And just as Athena and Shelly and I travel all over doing Christian Product Expo with our authors, we have one coming up in just like 10 days. And being there and really supporting our authors and letting them get their books out into the world, and then all the writers events that we go to. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but we meet some amazing people there and can't wait to bring more authors into our Redemption Press family. And we really are a family. And I think the thing I'm mostly looking forward to is to see how God continues to, as the prayer of Jabez, like extend our borders, expand our reach, and bring people in so that they can hear the gospel, so that the kingdom can be expanded, and that people will just hear the messages of the authors that we have. I told the conference that I spoke at today, getting your book out there is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning, because it's the part now where you get to launch it and share the message God has given you. And it is going to be a great 2024. We look forward to the next 10 years. Athena, thank you so much for all that you have done, for your vision, for the way that you have just dreamt big dreams and allowed Shelly and I and Kelly and Ross to kind of tag together. We have an incredible team. God has gifted us this amazing team of women, of editors, of layout people and designers, and our cover gal is phenomenal. So come and be a part. If you have not checked out Redemption Press in a while and you're listening today, check us out and come and be a part of our family, because we just believe in what God is doing in you, and we want to partner with you for the kingdom.
Amen.
Yay. All right. Athena, are you going to unmute or no?
I can try, but it's still loud.
All right. Do you have a goodbye word to say as we close out?
Oh, just, I I just picked the highlights to share today. And what is like an hour and a half.
I know. We were going to do a 30-minute live.
I just can't imagine what God is going to do over
Yeah.
the next 10 years.
Mm.
It just, I mean, I just feel like, yeah, he's just going to blow our minds and just show himself as the faithful God that he is even more. So,
Amen.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and just close out and just say a blessing over our authors, over our team, over Redemption Press as a whole and what God has for it. So,
Mhm.
Shelley, would you go ahead and close us in prayer?
Sure, I'd be delighted. Lord, thank you so much for this time that we've been able to just celebrate what you have done over these last 10 years through a woman who just stepped out in obedience and boldness and probably with much trepidation. But Lord, we just look back and see what you've done. And there is no other explanation other than knowing that that your hand was in this and that you have blessed mightily over these 10 years. And so I, Lord, just want to speak a blessing over our authors and all those that are watching, whether there are authors or not, but you've just put a message in their heart. Every single one has a purpose and has a calling on their life. And so whatever that looks like, however they communicate that message, I just speak the name of Jesus over them, that you would increase their boldness, their courage, their obedience to just step out, even if they're afraid, to just step out boldly, and that they would steward well what you have entrusted them with. And Lord, for Redemption Press and our entire team and just the vision that you've given us, oh God, we hold things loosely in our hands, Lord, knowing that it is yours. And so we are your servants, and we desperately need you. And so we are committing this next 2024 and the next 10 plus years to you, Lord, and just trusting you to order our steps, and that you would just put your hedge of protection around Redemption Press. And just thank you. Thank you, oh God, for your provision. We love you. We praise you. And we just commit all of this to you in your son's mighty name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you all for being here and joining us on our 10-year celebration.
God bless you.
God bless you all. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for all your support and all you do for us.
Yes. Thank you.